And just into CNN, former President Donald Trump will participate in a CNN presidential town hall next week. The former president will take questions from New Hampshire Republicans and undeclared voters who do plan to vote in the 2024 GOP presidential primary. CNN This Morning anchor Caitlin Collins will moderate the May 10th town hall at St. Anselm College at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Stay with CNN News Central.
It has just been confirmed that CNN is hosting Donald John Trump for a town hall next week. Let me rephrase that. CNN, the most trusted name in news, is hosting a deadly insurrectionist who tried to end our democracy by inciting a violent coup for a town hall where they will provide him free airtime and whitewash his crimes ahead of the 2024 election. CNN, shame on you.
Oh, 60 seconds in ya. So some Republicans and some Democrats would say hell has frozen over and that this would never happen. Not in a million years. Not with DJT number 45, but yes, it's true. CNN says Trump to appear in New Hampshire town hall with CNN. Oh, I know y'all are gonna fucking go nuts about this shit. And another one. Trump today sit down with CNN. Implicit dig at Fox.
All right, guys. So some interesting news came out yesterday from CNN that they are hosting former President Trump for a town hall. And of course, the liberals had an absolute meltdown over this because they don't like the idea of CNN, which, again, they're admitting is supposed to be a liberal platform, okay, hosting somebody that they disagree with politically.
The transformation of CNN into a journalistic whorehouse is now complete. Network President Chris Licht not only hands Trump a free hour of live propaganda dressed up as a town hall, but the only questions will come from voters in the New Hampshire Republican primary. The worse yet, Chris Licht bribed Trump because Trump agreed to let CNN fillet him. CNN will reportedly put on more Trump campaign surrogates in the months to come. And it's not just CNN. Last month, Trump abused and threatened an NBC reporter, had him removed, and then threw the NBC reporter's phones. Why didn't we know about this until yesterday? Because NBC didn't report it. Because Trump is also negotiating letting himself be covered by NBC. CNN and NBC whore themselves out and sell journalism to Trump. Hear all that and more on the Tuesday Countdown podcast, available now wherever you podcast.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, I want to talk more about the leftist meltdowns here before I kind of get into it, because it's not just the left that's melting down. You also have people on the right that have issues with this. And this is a conversation I could not wait to talk about when I first heard the news, because there's some really silly people on both sides of this issue, right? Because I really don't understand the outrage here on both sides of the political aisle, okay? So we have Sunny Holston, who's crying misogyny and racism, bigotry, because CNN is hosting a town hall, right? She says Donald Trump will host a live town hall on CNN. CNN should be ashamed that they're giving a platform to a criminally indicted, twice impeached, one-term president currently being sued for sexual assault, not to mention the misogyny and racism, right? So again, she doesn't know how to analyze anything outside of using some form of bigotry, okay? Midas Touch, which is a leftist propaganda outlet, says, a reminder that CNN is now heavily influenced by key Warner Bros. Discovery Board member and Trump supporter John Malone. Malone is the chairman of Liberty Media, Discovery's largest shareholder. He donated $250,000 to Trump's inauguration and gushed over Fox News-style journalism, saying the U.S. needs Fox News or something like it because otherwise everything's leftist. He uses the use of the term leftist here really says it all. Yeah, so again, I feel like this has to be some form of bigotry, because I was told that we're not supposed to criticize billionaire donors or supporters of political parties, right? Because anytime we criticize George Soros or point out facts about George Soros bankrolling the Democrat Party and woke DAs, that's a form of bigotry and hate towards Jewish people, right? That's what I was told. Scott Dorquin says, breaking, CNN is doing a town hall with indicted Donald Trump on May 10th because they've learned absolutely nothing. No one should watch this trash. This is absolutely ludicrous. There is no reason to give the biggest pathological liar in politics a platform to spread his bullshit. Trump doesn't belong on television. He belongs in prison. Okay, so now we got some reactions from the right, which truly really blow my mind here. We have this guy, Pedro L. Gonzalez. He says, Trump spent years whining about fake news and the enemy of the people, but he never believed it. Trump always craved approval from the liberal media. His team runs to them with scoops and exclusive. That's why CNN and others are practically rooting for him. They need each other. Incredible. And this guy Cernovich says Trump is doing what he loves most, giving CNN ratings. Yeah, so my response to this is exactly my opinion on this. And I want to talk about this because I really think some people are being extremely silly when it comes to the relationship between Republicans, conservatives, and the mainstream liberal media. My response was, how can you win a presidency when you refuse to talk to people who disagree with you? This is a great move for Trump, and I have respect for him going into enemy territory. Now, in my opinion, I think this is a great move for Trump. I think it's a great move for CNN, who obviously needs ratings, right? Yes, CNN is doing it for ratings, but they are a news outlet. Now, people say they're fake news, right? People say they're propaganda. I believe that, but they're still a media outlet, okay, that has an audience, a small dwindling audience, but an audience nonetheless. Trump is a presidential candidate who is running in the GOP primary. He's a front runner, right? I think it's a safe bet to say that he's probably going to win, okay, unless some type of, disaster happens for his campaign, which could be possible, right? It could be possible that he could lose. But to say that the man shouldn't go into enemy territory to debate or to have a conversation with voters, it's extremely silly. It's one of the silliest things I've seen from people on the right, okay? People that think that Republicans or conservatives shouldn't go on mainstream liberal media, honestly, I don't understand. I really don't get it. They would be terrible political strategists because you don't gain anything from going on Fox News and Newsmax and OAN and being on friendly platforms where the people that watch you are already people that agree with you, right? If you're running for elected office, you should be able to defend your ideas and policies on platforms that are not friendly towards you. And it doesn't even sound like this CNN town hall is going to be necessarily unfriendly to Trump because he's taking questions from Republican primary voters and undecided voters. It's not even like he's taking questions from just straight up Democrats. He might, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying, I don't see the problem with this. I actually like it. You actually should have Republicans that are trying to go on these other platforms. I mean, CNN won't host any real Trump Republicans in regards to having an opinion host. In regards to guests, they rarely do that. So when they decide to actually host Trump, hey, what am I supposed to be mad about? Because one of the things that we tend to complain about the most is that our views aren't being represented in the mainstream liberal media, that everything is one-sided towards the left and the leftist narrative. So when the mainstream liberal media actually platforms not just a Trump supporter, but Trump himself, people want to boohoo, whine, and complain about it and talk about where Trump is giving CNN ratings. Like, who gives a damn? Who gives a damn if Trump gives CNN ratings for one night? Who cares? I love the fact that Trump is willing to go on CNN. And I love when Republicans are willing to go on liberal media platforms and to accurately represent the conservative position and to push back against the mainstream liberal media narrative. I love that. Why would you? That's what we want, right? I thought that's what we wanted. We want our ideas to be debated, okay, and pushed out to the mainstream for people that disagree with us or that may not understand our ideas to listen to our argument so that we can convince them, right? I thought that's what we wanted. That's what we should be trying to do. I mean, I don't understand what the problem is. Because honestly, you can't win elections talking to people in a bubble. You actually have to get people that disagree with you to vote for you. You have to get Democrats who are not woke, right? Who are not overwhelmingly liberal, who, are open-minded to the views of the other side to vote for you. You have to get independents who are undecided to vote for you. You can't get them to do that when you're just on Fox News or OAN or Newsmax. It's almost like some of these people, and I'm talking about particularly on the right, it's almost like they don't want to win, right? They don't want to win. They don't understand the idea or the concept of you have to appeal to people who disagree with you. You have to appeal to people who have different opinions than you. In order to do that, you have to actually talk to those people. You have to go on the platforms where they're at and talk to them. You know, just like Bernie Sanders when he went on Fox News. He went on Fox News and did a Fox News town hall. I respect him for doing that. I might disagree with his opinion, but I'm not going to be mad at Fox News because Fox News hosted a socialist. No, I'm actually going to congratulate Fox News and say, yeah, Fox News, this is exactly what you're supposed to do. As a so-called journalistic outlet, you're supposed to host politicians with opinions from across the aisle so that people can hear those opinions. It doesn't matter if you agree with them or disagree with them. The ideas in and of themselves, again, should be debated openly. But again, you have some people on the right that are just like people on the left where they believe that, hey, we should be extremely tribal. So tribal that conservatives and Republicans shouldn't go on liberal platforms because you're giving them ratings. Which is one of the silliest things I've ever heard in my life. If Trump has any chance of winning, he has to go on a CNN. He has to go on an MSNBC. He has to go on an ABC. That is why it was such a big deal and everybody made such a big fuss about Trump being banned on social media, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. What was the reason why? Well, the reason why is because he didn't have a platform where he could reach people that disagree with him or that are undecided. That was the reason why it mattered, right? It mattered because of that. That was the whole point. That's why, again, I like when Republicans go on shows like The View. Why is that? Because The View has, unfortunately, an audience of millions of indoctrinated liberals that watch that show that need to hear a different viewpoint because the so-called conservative or conservatives, Anna Navarro and Alyssa Ferry Griffin, they damn sure don't represent the conservative viewpoint. They don't. So yeah, when conservatives decide to go on those platforms, I like that. I congratulate them for doing that. You need to do that. Republicans need to do that. They need to do more of that. Because the problem is that our opinions and our side and our arguments aren't being fairly represented. That is why the phrase mainstream liberal media exists in the first place. It's because the views from the media are overwhelmingly liberal. So I really don't understand the people that are complaining about this. I understand the liberals getting upset about it because they be like, oh, they're giving Trump a platform to, potentially convince people that he's right, right? So I understand the liberal outrage. The conservative outrage is silly to me. It really is. We got to get past this tribalism, man, right? Like we got to get past people who are so tribal where they don't even believe in Republicans or conservatives going to other platforms that disagree with our opinions. I think it's ridiculous. We have to remember that if we're going to win, we have to convince other people that disagree with us that our positions are correct. You don't do that talking in a bubble. You do that by being on their platform, going on their platform and stating your ideas. So again, I love this move for Trump. I don't give a F about CNN's ratings or whether or not they get a ratings boost. I don't give a F about whether or not we think that CNN is fake news. All I care about is that there's an audience at CNN that can be convinced, and we should be trying to convince them. That's all I care about. So if he does a MSNBC town hall, CNN town hall, NBC town hall, ABC News town hall, PB, I don't care what town hall he does. If he does it on a mainstream liberal media platform, I don't care. It's a good thing. It's always a good thing when Republicans go on these liberal media outlets to argue our positions. Always a good thing. It's never a bad thing. I don't give a damn about the ratings. All I care about is winning, okay? And you don't win by being in a bubble where all you do is just platform ideas and people who don't really have any mainstream appeal to anybody that disagrees with them, right? I'm just saying. kudos to Trump. And kudos to CNN for actually doing this, okay? Because it does take a lot of cojones from both sides to actually make this happen. And we should see more of this. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.